Hi everyone, this is Grace from Sprinkle of Sesame. Today, I'll be showing you how to make one of my all-time favorite dishes, Miso Ramen. I love eating ramen all year round, but I feel like there is something extra special about having a hot bowl of noodle soup on a cold winter day or when the weather is starting to get chilly in the fall. And when I say ramen, I don't mean the instant noodle kind that comes with the powder packet for the soup base. What I mean is the real authentic kind that comes with a broth that's been boiled for over 24 hours. The problem with that is though, that it is nearly impossible to make that at home. I mean, who has time to boil bones for a whole day? I mean, you could, but I feel like it's just too involved. So in this recipe, I came up with some shortcuts that you can take that allows you to save a ton of time so that you can make the whole thing in less than an hour, more like in 45 minutes. And also, it just tastes pretty authentic. This miso ramen recipe is going to have soft-boiled eggs, which I think is one of the more important things about a good bowl of ramen. And it's also going to have the super crispy pork belly. You know, I make this recipe at least 2 to 3 times every month. And every time I am so impressed by how it looks and how it tastes. It just comes out really good. So I am so excited to show you how to make this bowl of ramen so that you can enjoy this at home yourself. So let's get cooking. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cook the pork belly. That part is going to take the longest, so you want to begin with that first. I have 2 pounds of pork belly here. And I also have a baking sheet with this wire rack. This rack is going to help the fat to drip underneath so that the pork gets nice and crispy. So I'm going to put the pork belly on the wire rack on the baking sheet. Then I'm going to season it with 1 teaspoon of sea salt. So I'm going to sprinkle it all over. And about half a teaspoon of black pepper. And a teaspoon of garlic powder. While I use the pork belly for this recipe, just because I like the crispiness and the fattiness of the pork on my ramen, you don't have to use pork belly. You can use any other types of protein you would like. If you do want to use pork, but you can't find pork belly at your grocery store, another good alternative is to use country-style pork ribs. That cut of meat still has a decent amount of fat, so it's going to be still kind of crispy and fatty, and it's going to be good. If you don't want to use pork, you're welcome to use chicken or even tofu. As long as you like the protein that you put on your ramen, that's all that matters, right? I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees, and the pork belly is going to go in it for 40 minutes until it's nice and crispy. While the pork is in the oven, work on other parts of the dish. I put about 4 cups of water to the saucepan so that when I put the eggs in it later, the eggs can be completely submerged. But I'm not going to put the eggs in just yet. So to the water, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar. The reason why I'm putting the vinegar is the acid in the vinegar is going to weaken the eggshells, and it's going to be easier to peel the eggs later. So I turn the heat on medium-high to let the water boil first. Once the water starts boiling, that's when I'm going to put the eggs in, and then I'm going to cook the eggs for exactly 7 minutes to reach that soft, gooey consistency of the egg yolk and not overcook it. Okay, now the water is boiling, and I turn the heat down to low so the water is simmering. And I'm going to add 4 eggs to the boiling water. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to start the timer for 7 minutes. Remove from heat and run it under cold water immediately to stop the cooking process. So now the soft-boiled eggs are ready. I'm going to peel them now. Let's see. They peel so easily because I put the vinegar. I know, peeling the eggs can be one of the more frustrating things. But with the vinegar trick, it's just so much easier. Okay. Peel the first one. You want to see what it looks like on the inside? The moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Ooh. The yolk is still a bit runny. Does that look great? Next, quickly stir fry the bean sprouts over medium-high heat. If you want to cook the spinach as well, you can move the bean sprouts aside and add the spinach leaves. You see how much it shrunk down? All the spinach just became this much spinach. Hard to believe it. For the noodles, boil 8 cups of water. Once the water is boiling, put 4 packs of ramen noodles and cook for 2 minutes. The noodles cook really fast, so make sure to watch it closely and stop cooking right away once the noodles are no longer hard. Drain the noodles. So you want to make sure not to overcook the noodles. Unless that's how you like it. You know, some people are different. I'm not one of those people though. Making the miso broth is really easy. I have 32 ounces of chicken bone broth that I'm going to add to the saucepan. And I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of white miso paste. This. And you stir it together, kind of break down the miso paste with the broth. Just heat it up. You can heat it up in the microwave as well. You can use a stove or microwave to heat up the miso broth. Either one's fine. You just want to make sure it's hot enough. It's been 40 minutes since the pork belly went in the oven, so it's time to take them out. The pork is nicely golden brown and super crispy. Cut the pork into bite-sized pieces. Now all the toppings are finally ready and it's time to assemble the ramen. So I'm going to add some ramen noodles first. That's a good amount. Then I'm going to add some bean sprouts, a little bit of spinach, just because I like it. And I'm going to also add some crispy pork belly. So good. And I'm going to add a couple soft-boiled eggs. And then I'm going to add some seaweed snack. I'm going to grab about 5 sheets. And I'm going to use my scissors to cut them into thin shreds. Finally, add the miso broth. Doesn't it look beautiful? Now to my favorite part. I get to eat it and taste it. Alright. And the pork is nice and crispy, as you can see. So good. Did you know you can make something so impressive at home yourself? I told you this recipe is really easy to make. And if you have made this once at your own home, I promise you, you'll be making this over and over again. So if you like this video, please remember to hit the like button and let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want to tell me. And last but not least, please subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time!